All right, so today we're diving into something I think a lot of people are thinking about.
Yeah,
A lot of people are interested
definitely.
your path to financial freedom.
The big one.
We're going to be using a great article from Investopedia as our guide today. It's called How to Reach Financial Freedom, 12 Habits to Get You There.
I like this article.
Yeah, and I think what's great about this is, a lot of people listening are looking for concrete actions, not just, theories or vague ideas.
Exactly.
This article really delivers on that.
Yeah, it really does. It impressed me with how applicable the habits are, regardless of really where you're at financially,
Yeah.
your income, your current situation.
Right, it's for everybody.
That's a framework.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool is it's not just about like winning the lottery, or
Cool.
becoming a millionaire overnight.
Right.
It's about creating a life where money isn't a constant source of stress,
Exactly.
where you have the flexibility to make choices that are aligned with your values.
Yeah, and that's actually where the article starts. It starts with like really defining what financial freedom means to you.
I love that.
Is it early retirement? Is it, starting a business? Is it traveling the world?
Yeah, and they actually encourage you to write it down.
Yes.
Like, what's your ideal lifestyle? How much do you think you need
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen? And even like a target age.
Totally a target.
It's like creating a financial vision board, but with concrete numbers.
I love that. A vision board, but like actually achievable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes it less of a fantasy,
Yeah.
more of a plan.
Totally.
All right, so let's get into some of the nitty-gritty of these 12 habits.
Okay.
First up is, kind of the classic, the budgeting and the debt management.
Okay.
I know
Not the most exciting.
we're not the sexiest topic.
Right. But hear me out.
Okay.
The way the article frames it is really smart.
Okay.
It talks about paying off high-interest credit cards, IN full L, every month.
Okay.
And that is not just about like tracking spending.
Yeah.
It's about breaking free from this cycle of debt
Right.
that can really sabotage your progress.
It's like you're trying to run a race, but you're carrying like a heavy backpack.
Yes.
It's just going to slow you down every step of the way.
Exactly. And then it brings up this concept of automation.
Ooh, I like automation.
So like setting up automatic transfers
Mhm.
to savings and retirement accounts the moment you get paid.
Ooh, that's good.
It's brilliant because you're removing the temptation to spend the money before you even have a chance to like miss it.
Yeah, that pay yourself first mentality.
Yes.
I love that.
It's like tricking yourself into saving without even realizing it.
Right.
And it also emphasizes building that separate emergency fund
Oh, right.
outside of your retirement savings to handle those like unexpected
Right.
bumps in the road life, throws those at us sometimes.
For sure.
And you know what? Automate that too.
Okay, now let's tackle a topic that I think makes some people nervous.
Okay.
Investing. I think a lot of us have this image of Wall Street tycoons,
Yes.
in suits, making these complex trades. But the article takes a much more approachable stance, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really encourages just using online brokerage accounts
Okay.
that are specifically designed for beginners.
You don't need to have like a finance degree or anything.
You don't need a finance degree.
Right.
You don't need to be like, super wealthy.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
And speaking of starting small, they highlight the power of compound interest,
Yes.
which is where things get really exciting.
It's the ultimate long game.
Yeah.
So like imagine a snowball rolling down a hill.
Okay.
It starts small,
Uh-huh.
but as it gathers more snow, it grows exponentially larger.
Yeah.
That's compound interest. Your earnings start generating their own earnings.
So even if you're only investing a small amount each month, the key is consistency over time.
Exactly. And the article even gives a really concrete example.
Oh, cool.
So if you invest just $100 a month,
Yeah.
starting at age 25,
Okay.
with an average annual return of 7%, which is, reasonable.
Yeah.
By the time you reach 65, you'll have over $240,000.
Wow.
And that's without even factoring in like any employer contributions
Right,
or
right.
matching funds.
So it really illustrates that power of starting early
Yes.
and letting compound interest do its magic.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
but the second best time is today.
Right.
So start now.
I love, okay, so now remember those credit cards we talked about?
Okay.
Paying those bills on time or not plays a huge role in your credit score.
Huge.
And the article reveals that it's about more than just getting loans,
Yeah.
right? I think a lot of people don't realize how much of a ripple effect a good credit score can have.
Absolutely. It can affect your car insurance,
Oh, wow.
your life insurance premiums, your ability to rent an apartment,
What?
even job opportunities in some cases.
Really?
Yeah. So it really highlights how interconnected all of our financial decisions are.
So it's not just about borrowing money. It's about building financial credibility
Yeah.
and opening doors for yourself.
Totally.
Okay, so here's a habit that I find incredibly intriguing,
Okay.
but also slightly intimidating: negotiation.
Oh, yeah.
The article actually encourages us to negotiate
I love that.
for goods and services,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know it can feel a little uncomfortable,
especially if you're not used to it.
especially if you're not used to it. But think about it, even a small discount
Yeah.
on a big purchase
Mm-hmm.
or a lower interest rate on a loan,
Right.
that can add up to significant savings over time.
It's like hidden money just waiting to be unlocked.
Yes.
The article suggests starting small, you know,
Okay.
maybe negotiate with a local business or an independent contractor.
Yeah, they might be more open to it
Yeah.
than like a huge corporation.
Right. And you never know unless you ask.
Exactly.
The worst that can happen is they say no,
Right.
and you're no worse off than you were before.
Exactly.
So
But if they say yes, boom, you've scored a win.
it's all about shifting your mindset.
Yeah.
Seeing negotiation as a tool for empowerment
Totally.
rather than like something confrontational.
Right.
Speaking of empowerment, the article also stresses the importance of staying informed
Oh, yeah.
about financial news
Uh-huh.
and changes in tax laws.
So important because the financial world is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And what worked 5 years ago might not be the best strategy today.
Right.
So staying updated helps you make those informed decisions.
Avoid potential pitfalls.
Absolutely.
It's like having a financial roadmap that's constantly being updated
Yes.
to reflect like the latest detours and shortcuts.
I love that analogy.
You know, you got to stay informed and navigate effectively.
Totally.
Okay, so let's talk about a concept that I think is often misunderstood: living below your means.
Okay.
This does not mean depriving yourself
Yeah,
or living a life of misery.
No, not at all.
It's about making conscious choices about your spending.
It's about understanding the difference between your needs and your wants and finding ways to enjoy life without, like, overspending.
Like maybe brewing your own coffee instead of hitting the fancy coffee shop every morning.
Exactly. And, like, redirecting those savings towards something that truly matters to you,
Yeah.
like travel or investing in a hobby or,
Right.
it's about aligning your spending with your values.
And the article makes a great point that many wealthy people actually built their fortunes by first mastering frugal habits.
It's true.
So it's not about, denying yourself everything. It's just about being mindful, intentional.
It's like building a really solid financial foundation.
Yeah,
And the stronger your foundation is, the more you can, like, build upon it.
I like that analogy. Okay, so here's a habit that surprised me: taking care of your health.
Okay.
I wouldn't immediately connect that with financial freedom, but the article makes a compelling case.
Yeah, it's all about risk management.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. Medical bills and lost income due to illness can completely derail your financial plans.
That's true.
So investing in preventative care, eating healthy, staying active,
Right.
these are all ways to protect your biggest asset.
So it's not just about living a longer life. It's about living a healthier and more financially secure life.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I love that. And that preventative mindset, can be applied to other areas of your finances too.
Totally. The article talks about, maintaining your property, whether it's your car, your home, even your clothes.
It's about taking those small steps today to avoid bigger, more costly problems down the road.
Right, like changing the oil in your car regularly to prevent engine damage.
Simple, but it can save you thousands of dollars.
Exactly. And you know what? While we're on the topic of potentially costly decisions, the article mentions something that I think is worth discussing.
Okay.
Seeking professional financial advice.
Okay, so they frame it as something that you might consider once you've built up a certain level of assets.
Yeah.
But is that always the case?
It really depends on your individual circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I think for some people, especially those with like complex financial situations or, significant wealth, a financial advisor can be invaluable.
Yeah.
They can provide that like really personalized guidance on investing, retirement planning, estate planning.
Right.
But for others, maybe those just starting out or with more straightforward financial needs, it might not be necessary, at least not right away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are so many resources available online and through community organizations that can provide like basic financial education and guidance for free or at a really low cost.
Yeah.
So it's about finding the right level of support for your current situation.
And being aware of potential conflicts of interest.
Yes.
Not all financial advisors are created equal.
Absolutely. Do your research. Ask questions.
Right.
Make sure you're comfortable with their qualifications and approach.
It's your money and your future.
Exactly. You deserve to have someone you trust guiding you.
Okay, so remember how the article emphasizes defining your own version of financial freedom? I think it's worth circling back to that because it's such a crucial concept.
It's so crucial, and I think it's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others or chasing some like arbitrary definition of success.
Right.
But financial freedom is so personal.
Yeah. What brings one person joy and fulfillment might be completely different for another.
Exactly. Maybe it's early retirement and like spending your days traveling the world,
Right.
or maybe it's having the financial security to start your own business or pursue a passion project without worrying about a steady paycheck.
Yeah, it's about aligning your finances with your values
Yes,
and using money as a tool to create the life you want.
exactly. And that might look totally different for everyone.
And speaking of different perspectives, I think it's important to acknowledge something that often gets overlooked in these conversations, the role of like luck and privilege.
Oh, that's a really great point.
Yeah.
We can't ignore the fact that not everyone starts from the same place
Right.
or has access to the same opportunities.
Uh,
Factors like socioeconomic background, family support, access to education, and even systemic biases can all significantly impact an individual's financial trajectory.
yeah, it's like running a race where some people start a mile ahead of the starting line,
Right.
while others have hurdles placed in their path.
Yes.
And it's not about blaming or shaming anyone. It's just about acknowledging the reality of the situation
Exactly.
and working towards creating a more equitable playing field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to move beyond these simplistic narratives of personal responsibility
Right.
and recognize the complex interplay of individual choices and societal structures.
Uh-huh.
It's about creating a system that provides everyone with the opportunity to achieve financial well-being regardless of their starting point.
I like that. And that brings us to a crucial point from the article that I think deserves more attention, the importance of staying educated on financial issues.
It's a habit that pays dividends throughout your life.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, knowledge is power. And it really rings true when it comes to your finances. The more you understand about things like budgeting, investing, even how the economy works, the better equipped you are to make those smart decisions.
And there are so many resources available these days to boost your financial literacy,
Oh, yeah.
websites, podcasts like this one, books, even community workshops.
Uh-huh.
You can find something that fits your learning style and your budget
I love that it's like having a whole library of financial knowledge
right at your
at your
fingertips.
fingertips.
Mhm.
The article specifically mentions, staying up to date on things like tax laws,
Yeah.
investment trends,
hmm
which can change so quickly.
It's crucial because what worked 5 or 10 years ago might not be the best strategy today.
Right.
So, by staying informed, you can adjust your approach as needed.
Right.
Make sure your money is working as hard as it can for you.
It's like having a financial GPS. You need to keep recalibrating to make sure you're on the right track heading towards your destination.
Yeah.
And speaking of destinations, let's circle back to the ultimate goal of all this financial freedom. What does that actually look like, in practice?
Well, I mean, we've talked about how it's a highly personal concept, but I think generally speaking, it means having enough financial resources to live the life you want without being, constantly stressed about money.
It's about having choices, right?
Exactly.
The freedom to pursue your passions, spend time with loved ones, travel, give back to your community,
Yeah,
whatever brings you joy and fulfillment.
exactly. And it's also about having a sense of security, knowing that you're prepared for those unexpected expenses and have a solid plan for your future.
Right.
It's not about accumulating vast wealth just for the sake of it.
It's about using your resources wisely to create a life that's both meaningful and fulfilling.
Exactly.
I think that's a really important distinction to make.
Yeah, it's not about chasing some arbitrary number in your bank account. It's about, aligning your finances with your values, using your money as a tool to support the life you want to live.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive into financial freedom, I want to leave you with this thought. The 12 habits we've discussed
Yes.
provide a fantastic foundation, for sure, for building financial freedom, but it's not a one-size-fits-all formula
Right.
or a set-it-and-forget-it plan.
No, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
learning, adapting, making those conscious choices that support your goals. And remember, the journey itself can be just as rewarding as the destination.
I love that by embracing these habits, you're not just building a more secure financial future.
Right.
You're developing valuable skills, cultivating a healthier relationship with money, and ultimately creating a life of greater purpose and fulfillment.
Couldn't agree more. It's about taking control of your finances so they can empower you to live the life you truly desire.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into financial freedom. We hope you feel inspired and ready to take those next steps towards a brighter financial future.